And this is my best personal favorite because I think this band's ultimate form, and apparently I need to check out like John Zorn and Secret Chiefs, is Yiddish prog rock, which I love. I love,
Dude,
apparently.
This isn't just like a good band, but a little rough around the edges, or like the production wasn't great and they struggled a lot. So, certain things were compromised. These are like fantastically produced, amazingly performed and written albums that just no one has ever heard of. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, whether we like it or not. That's a whole new discography per episode. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my plaid-clad co-host, Alexander Volt. Say hello.
Hello.
And today, we'll be discussing every album by
Creedle. Not Creed. Creedle.
Creedle. This is requested on Patreon by Steve. Big thanks to Steve for supporting us and being so patient with this 3-album long discography. He waited so long for this, but they are not just breezy. They're beefy albums. And also, you probably never heard of this band. No one has heard of this band. I imagine you've never heard of this band.
No, most certainly not.
I most certainly not. Why has no one heard of this band?
I don't know. There's it's so interesting. If like noise, prog, even like that San Diego scene, I feel like if you're in like a weird band in San Diego, they all kind of like sing the same.
Oh yeah, are you thinking of the
like
G-Hue?
Yeah,
for sure, like Rick Froberg kind of
yeah.
thing. Yeah, for sure. I don't know why this band just got completely swept under the rug, because I don't know about you, Alex, but I like them a whole lot.
I like them. I like one album in particular, the most, obviously. But yeah, it took me, not that like what I heard, I was like, oh, I don't like this, but this took me like a little while to get my sea legs, if you will.
For me, it was the opposite. I was hooked immediately. For all 3 albums.
Oh, nice.
This is going to be a fun one for me because, I not only do I think this band doesn't have a bad album, I think they're all great albums. And I'm only giving Wars to my least favorite of the bunch. And so I wasn't sure what to expect in general, but this is a pretty damn unique band. So they're, early 90s. First album came out in 92. And they're doing this alt rock with heavy duty prog elements and a whole ton of jazz. And it's really unusual. And for the time period, it's really unusual. And the closest comparison, especially with one album, the closest comparison is Mr. Bungle.
Yes, I heard some, Mr. Bungle, Patton-esque things going on. Heard a lot of Slint, heard a lot of King Crimson, and it's really like you throw those three bands in a blender. They do little odd things here, maybe some free jazz, Ornette Coleman stuff going on. So
they do all those things. Slint, Mr. Bungle, King Crimson, and even at times another one of my favorite bands, Secret Chiefs 3. Way before Secret Chiefs 3. So like this band is just a hybrid of a bunch of shit that I already love, which is very fun, but it also doesn't exactly, aside from moments where it's like, that's very Bungle. Most of the time they still have their own character and their own personality that doesn't really sound like anyone. And they do a few things on mostly 2 albums, but a little bit on the 3rd album as well, that are strictly them, can be a little bit compared to Ween in some ways, another one of my favorite bands. Like they just do all these little tastes where it just seems like the ultimate coincidence, because it doesn't feel like they're borrowing so much from Ween and a band who wasn't even formed yet. Like it just happens to sound like all these things that came later.
I would say the Ween comparison is good in the sense that they're just kind of going to do whatever they want, and it does seem like there's no rhyme or reason sometimes, but they want to hit you with like a 40-second little like Western interlude track, you're going to get it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You get some Western stuff, you get some folksy stuff, you get just completely unhinged jazz, you get some Jewish music, it's like, oh, that's when I put like the Secret Cheese 3, the John Zorn thing. And then even one of the tracks you hear him reference John Zorn. It's like, okay, they like John Zorn. There's one. That's an anchor right there. That makes a little bit of sense. You can kind of tie it back to that. And yeah, a lot of car chase jazz stuff, which is very John Zorn. Very fun. But aside from, there's not much. So we have a little bit of notes from our history guy, Tom Osman, who should go support and follow. Not easy to find dirt on this band. There's not a whole lot about them. We have one article from the San Diego Reader from maybe 2010, but we're not sure because it's not that clear. And it seemed, yeah, it's also from the San Diego Reader. It seems like, oh, we're going to do this piece on a local band, more so that it's not so much like I don't want to say reputable, but like a known music journalism outlet doing a piece of like, I guess no one covered these guys. I don't understand it. It seems so strange with a band, not only this unique, but this mind-blowingly technically talented.
Yeah, you would think they'd be able to find some like-minded peers, but also I guess, early 90s West Coast, it might be a little hard to kind of find your peers. Maybe if they were like in Chicago or something, but
I was wondering about why it is that we never heard of them. And so like early in like 90s in general, it's like, oh, that was the time period where all these, all bands were getting picked up because of the grunge and blah, 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 Nirvana. And then they were just signing anybody who seemed like they could make possibly money, who knows. And a bunch of bands that normally wouldn't have opportunities had opportunities. Why weren't these guys? So I'm still not exactly sure, but a part of it's like, oh wait, they were still way too proggy and crazy. Even for the wave of that, they were still a little bit too nuts. That's my guess.
I think that's good. There's no radio friendly songs here. There's a lot of songs that are too short. There's some songs that are too long. So
yeah, and honestly, like when we make the Bungle comparison, Bungle was exactly this time period, but also they got fast tracked because Mike Patton's connections. So there was no way they'd be playing in the same places. So so that's also like the one obvious connection from the time period and the style of music. Doesn't seem it was even remotely possible just because of the status of both bands.
Sure. And yeah, I don't know, what this band's touring schedule is like, if they gotta hit the road with anybody, but yeah, definitely very, very talented players, that's for sure.
Hell yes.
I could also see, like people thinking like San Diego and like maybe like pop punk or something more surfy, and then it's like these guys.
Yeah, it doesn't. Not a very coherent bill. Whatever bill they were on.
Yeah, for sure.
So we got, and these are the members. And forgive me if I don't know who the hell plays what, because I don't. So for members, we got Devin E. Levins. I imagine it's not his government name. Pie Boy, Dr. Geen, Cochemia, Cochemia. I don't know. Rob Crow, Gabriel Sunday, and past members include Robert Walter, Scraps, Pete Skinbus, Rob Demole, Pierre de Gaillard. Okay, I don't know what the fuck's going on right now.
Let me just say, only two of these guys have like Wikipedia pages, and Rob Crow's is very interesting. I see. He like I don't know if he's in Goblin Cock or if he just like played. Yeah, he's a member.
He's in Goblin.
He's a Goblin Cock.
What's a great name? He's also an Anal Trump. I remember
Yes.
Anal Trump. I forgot where I heard of him.
And then I see he did vocals on Drive Like Yahoo on Luau.
Oh, that's why his name came. So Tom even wrote here saying, "Who is this Rob Crow?" I know, he remembered. He remembered Anal Trump, and that he doesn't remember what. Yeah, backup vocals on Luau. Yeah, that must have been that. At least that, but maybe there was others, but at least that.
And then fucking Robert Walter has played with goddamn Roger Waters.
Whoa! What? All right, that's funny. Unusual, but fun.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. Those guys made out okay.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm not so sure about Pie Boy and Devin Levens, but at least someone is all right. But from this piece, it says Creedle emerged in the early 90s from the ashes of burnt out bands like If Tomorrow, Daddy Longlegs, The Pool Toys, and the Holy Love Snakes with their debut performance at the original Midtown Cash Bar locale. The band included Devin E. Levens, aka Devin Goldberg. Hey, we got some names here. On guitar vocals.
I don't want to know their shoot names, brother.
We're about to find their shoot names, dude. Pie Boy, aka Tim Blankenship. That also doesn't sound real. On bass and vocals. Dr. Geen, aka Dion Thurman. All these names, I could see why they chose aliases.
Although Dion Thurman like sounds cool as fuck.
It sounds black, does it not?
Like he plays in jazz music for sure.
Old jazz guy. That's what I'm getting from Dion Thurman. Probably is at this point literally an old jazz guy. On drums, Stretch. Robert Walter was Stretch.
Okay.
He did keyboards and samples, and Kem, aka Kochemia Gastelum, on saxophone. So I guess we don't know their name, their actual name. Who the fuck Gastelum is. Crazy. Anyway, that leads us to the first album. We don't have a whole lot of backstory here. We're doing the best we can. If you know any more, please let us know. And if you're a member of the band, hello, talk to us and talk to Tom. I'm sure he'd love to interview you. Oh, that's funny. The guy who engineered this first album is Joe Pecorillo. It's very Italian. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. His credits include Bad Religion, NoFX, Drive Like G-Hugh, The Flaming Lips, and Steely Dan.
Hell yeah. That's a man. Lord. That's a man with a reputable discography right there.
Oh, God damn. It was mastered by Bill Leitner. He did more along my taste. Buddy Rich, The Residents, Mission to Burma, Beck, Bikini Kill, Unwound. That's a neat one.
Nice.
But anyway, let's get to this. Let's get to these albums. There's only 3 that we're talking about today. The first one came out in 1992, and last one 1996. So very succinct, but very deceptively diverse, evolutionary, catalog.
For sure.
So if you are ready.
Yes, sir.
Hell yes. This is 1992's Half Man, Half Pie. I think if I had to pick, this is my favorite opener of the 3 albums.
I didn't even think about.
It takes a minute. I already fast forwarded the song about a minute. It takes about another minute to come in.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Very subtle. I mean, they really build this shit up. I was not expecting this much tightness and this much power.
I know the 90s technology is getting a little better, but also surprised how good for being a very small band with out-of-print albums.
Oh, yeah. Great production. Oh, I love that. That flurry.
Yeah.
So 90s, but I love it.
It's also like a vocal style we won't really hear a lot of.
The vocals go all over. Yeah. This is way snarlier, way more shouty, way more like alt metal than anything else. This rules. I fucking love this song.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, and it's a lengthy song.
And does a bunch of stuff. It goes into some crazy jazzy stuff. I mean, each song, you really can't put on a snippet. Each song does a million things.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think there's a bad album here. It's just this, our stupid rules. I'm giving this worst least favorite. This because and this may be a plus for some people, but this feels kind of like you're just getting little samplings of things where I think what ended up being my favorite, I'm like that's like an album in my head. But yeah, it does make me think about not as extreme as like Phantom Moss, but like those Phantom Moss albums where you just get like these little smatterings of things.
Yeah, they're very super duper 30 seconds of crazy intensity.
And yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not my personal cup of tea, and it's a very nitpicky thing.
I suppose. I'm also giving this worst least favorite. I like this album quite a bit. I was like super taken with it when I first saw it. I was like, fuck yes, I like this album a lot. I still like the album a lot. Compared to the other two, I am going to give it worse though. And it's because there are the most songs that I can do without here. And by songs, I mostly mean interludes and maybe one song, because there's a lot of interludes.
Yeah.
This band is lousy with interludes. They love them some interludes.
Yeah, they do.
And sometimes they're fun. Sometimes they're creepy. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes they're super duper unnecessary. They're all over the map. But here, it's actually my least favorite Creedle song, easily. And that is The Haunted Pop-Tart.
Okay. Yeah. That, I did get Red Cross vibes from that a little bit, although it does lean into more punk than like that 60s pop. Although there's hints of it. And then they do go reggae for a little bit there.
They sure do. They go reggae around 140. They go reggae. Yeah. So I hate reggae, sure, but I didn't hate that happened. I found it to be novel and on the first listen, I was like, you know what? It's in the context of the album. It's a goofy, wacky song. That's fine. And then I listened to some of the other albums. And then I went back to this one, and I was like, I don't like that. I'm not even fucking remotely tolerating that shit. Like, I lost all leeway, or like I lost any kind of flexibility I had on second listen with the Haunted Pop-Tart, because it is like pop punk and then reggae, and thankfully for me, they never go there again. They really never ever go there again. But that's one example of just the wild swings on this album, with all the crazy different genres they go with. There's so much to say about every song, and it's hard to remember every song because there's so many fucking things that happen in every song. Like in track 2, Maiden.
I know that's one of your favorite songs because
it's so cool.
Yeah, heavy circus music.
It's great. It has these fucking keyboard stabs all over it, and they're like really dramatic and like over the top sounding, but it's so cool. There's this drum, the chorus. I guess you can call it a chorus. It's kind of centered around this drum fill. It sounds really great, and there's a lot. So this one also it reminds me. Whereas like the self-titled Mr. Bungle is like my least favorite of like the main 3 Bungle albums, because I felt it kind of jumps between like the extremes of like, we're going to dick around for 5 minutes and then play this wacky song. There's a lot of that extreme where they go crazy with, we're going to dick around for this. What song is it? Is it Bark? That's like the full ass experimental song.
I did like Bark.
You did like it.
Yeah, because I think that's like when we're feel like really like properly introduced to like their jazz influences. It does get noisy, and that is when I notice like that drive like Jehu San Diego sound that I was talking about earlier.
So I was super turned off by Bark because it's track 4. Because it's so early, and this is not each of these albums are pretty lengthy. They're like 70 minutes each or something like that. So they're lengthy albums, and you throw, how long is this fucking a 4-minute full on free jazz experimental track as track 4?
Yeah.
I was flabbergasted.
Yeah. I'm not like a free jazz aficionado. I like a handful of albums I like, but I like it enough that when I hear a band do it good enough, I'm engaged.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. They follow that with Really, which I love Really. It's more on the edgier, darker side, and the vocals around here are a little bit more on the nerdy side. We get a lot of nerdy vocals. I would say he's mostly nerdy sounding throughout these albums.
Yeah, that song is more like with like heavy alternative rock, like you said you maybe would have heard from other bands in the 90s, and then we get these like Faith No More crescendos in the like final minutes or so.
Oh yeah. It's really anthemic. It's a really solid section. But there's also during like the kind of the proggier moments, there's this one riff that literally sounds like a broken record where it's you can even hear a little scratch sound. They're playing this riff that sounds like a record skipping, which is like that's pretty inventive.
Yeah, the band also likes vocals that sound like they're telephone messages.
There's a lot of telephone and voicemail recordings on a lot of songs.
Most of the albums.
Yeah. Even interludes where it's literally just voicemails taken and they put the voicemail over a song. There's a lot of that too.
Yeah. Yep. You brought up Ween earlier. Family Sky is like this dark folksy thing that, probably right up Ween fans' alley.
Totally.
I think another like very like daring, bombastic song on this album is Mrs. Ip. It starts off like a song you'd hear on like an old children's show, and then it does this like lounge jazz thing with these gruff, Tom Waits vocals, and then it gets like thrashy and punky, and it's so wild and so much fun.
Love it. So it's so damn good. I mean, the way they blended that loungy, cool ass jazz with that proggy fucking noise rock punk thing. I mean, it's fantastic. What else we got? I mean, there's so many fucking songs. Each of these albums has so many songs.
I think like if I had to pick a favorite track on the album, though, it's Wild Kingdom.
Really? Why?
It starts off surreal, spacey. It gets rowdy. There's a number of tracks that are heavy and weird, but something about Wild Kingdom just felt the best. Like that went down the smoothest for me.
There's one thing they do it on that song quite a bit, but when they do Loud Quiet Loud, they do it in such an extreme way. They do it in almost a frustrating way, because when they go quiet, they go so fucking quiet.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like all mixing and all has been like there's no mastering suddenly. All of a sudden, like we're going to leave the quiet parts completely unmastered. It's going to be very quiet. And then when it gets loud, it gets stupid loud. That song does that a lot.
That's funny because I was listening to Bjork the other day. It's Oh So Quiet. And I was kind of thinking about that because she like really plays with those dynamics in that song. Like she really wants those like quiet parts to be quiet, and then the like big band stuff just is louder than the rest. So it's got to be a joke. Like because this band is jokey, but it's called Bad Radio Autistic Version.
Yeah.
And to me, that was like, oh, when you see a song, it's like acoustic version, but they miss.
Oh, I didn't even put that together. I was just like, oh, it must be the autistic version.
Because my dyslexic ass did see acoustic version at first.
okay.
And then when I went to type it and listening to the lyrics, I was like, okay, so like there's like a pretty funny, jokey thing on the next album that people may or may not know it for all 10 of the fans listening.
Okay, no. Yeah, Bad Radio is a lot like Family Sky. It's more one of the more Ween-esque novelty, like acoustic songs.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they do acoustic songs and they do these, like usually they're shorter. Sometimes they're like normal length, but usually shorter acoustic songs. They have this. They are what they are. Like I don't know. You can compare it to Ween. It's the closest thing I can compare it to, but it is very much a Creedle acoustic song. The voices are through a million fucking filters. He sounds very small and nervous. Everything sounds. You hear these spacey sounds and these like. It sounds very old, like it's been recorded through a fucking old tape player or something. They all have that feel to, even on next albums. They all the acoustic songs are like that.
They're always dark. They're not a traditional beautiful acoustic sounding song.
Not at all. And even when they're happy, they still feel dark. Just with the presentation is very odd and unusual. It's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We got some pretty strong ass drums on Donnell Stepped Outside, and even it sounds like xylophone, but I think it's a keyboard.
I also noticed the dope drumming on that track. The dude's bass pedal is insane on that song.
Man, Dr. Geen don't fuck around, apparently. It's like they're all so incredible. So the first instance, this isn't the most on the nose instance, but the first real instance of sounding like Slint, Trombino.
Yeah, it's also oddly one of their more normal sounding songs. But yeah, they'll definitely, a little bit of a spoiler, definitely lean into that more on the next album.
Yeah, and then the Moment's on the one after that too. But yeah, it's honestly it's one of my favorite songs there. So I have like, there's a thing where Slint has been one of my favorite bands for, I mean, almost 20 years. And I don't like the idea of a band going out trying to sound like them, but if they happen to sound like them, I'm already like a little bit greased up. Like, all right. So when it's the moments where they start sounding like Slint, they clearly, I wouldn't say clearly, maybe they heard it. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like the most, because I know Spiderland wasn't, they put it out in 91, but it was like hidden and unknown for years, wasn't it? I forget the whole story. Yeah, like, so I don't think it made the rounds exactly.
Could be this like something in the water scenario, deep impact Armageddon situation.
Yeah, could be just like that.
For those old enough to remember that summer. Mm-hmm. Two wildly different asteroid movies.
Fucking Armageddon. What a piece of crap. I loved that movie when it came out.
Oh, dude. I thought that was the greatest movie ever. Take some blue collar construction workers, put them on a spaceship. Michael Clark Duncan, Bruce Willis, Buscemi,
Ben Affleck. Yeah. Was Liv Tyler in that too?
She didn't get to go to space,
No, she did not.
Michael Bay wouldn't allow that, but
no. Wait, that was Michael Bay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh man.
Also, fun note about Armageddon. It's in the Criterion Collection.
Yes.
Justice.
That's what I heard.
They're ashamed of it. They haven't put it out on high definition, Blu-ray, 4K, what have you. But I own the DVD that says Criterion Collection.
Yeah, no Tixies backsies, dude. That fucking counts.
You can't. It fucking counts.
We have the song Pie Boy also, which opens with some fucking some bass harmonics and these really cool chokes. Fucking yeah, it's another. I mean, they're all a lot of these are so strong. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I think that's like the most mathy song on the album.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. The prog moments are pretty gnarly. They're great too. Like even some of them sound like fucking pinball sound effects with like whistles on them. It's pretty zany.
It's pretty crazy how full they're able to sound. I'm assuming they had to play everything. Sampling was a thing. However, I think it was more expensive back then.
Yeah, so they have. I already forgot his made up name on samples. What's his fucking face? I'll find out in 3 seconds. Oh yeah, Stretch, Robert Walter. He was on samples and keyboards, but I still don't know how much of it was post and how much of it because this doesn't feel like a live.
Yeah, it sounds full and like it doesn't sound like samples.
Yeah, but the album also doesn't feel like it was recorded live. It feels a little too. I could be wrong. I have no idea. It just sounds very on it.
Okay.
Then again, there are some albums that they play it live and it sounds fucking perfect. So who knows? And then the last like closer technically is My Gift to You, which is another acoustic one. I do like the main riff to that one quite a bit. The actual final track is 2964869. We're not doxing anybody. It's the name of the YouTube fucking algorithm. It's the name of the song, and it's these Eastern acoustic guitar lines with crazy production with just voicemails playing over it. Like it sounds like real voicemails.
Yeah, the boys love their voicemails. So
yeah, it's too long, but I'm okay with it. It's fun.
Yeah. It is a bit much after,
it's long. Yeah. The album is long. Each of these albums, I think, could be shorter and we have a better time with it, even though I do love every album.
We're very much in the CD age.
Yes, that was apparent from jump. Yes. And yeah, so both of our worst and least favorites, but man, what a fun fucking album. Like this was an immediate fan maker for me. So that's pretty damn good worst.
Yeah. I can't say I was as enthusiastic as you were, but I was definitely interested and definitely engaged, especially like this album cover feels like an outlier from the other two. The other two are like more classic and traditional looking. So I wasn't sure like what kind of band we were going to be listening to, and so that this album did like set me at okay, like it's interesting. Worst case scenario, it's interesting.
Yeah, I like the album cover a lot for this one. And
I agree. I think it's like kind of like a 70s comic vibe a little bit.
Yeah, totally. And it's so like convincing too. Like the art, whoever the artist was, looks like that was their thing. That was their job. They were a fucking old comic illustrator, because it's kind of like it's got good colors too. It's just the only problem with it is that it doesn't look like an album cover, which is neat. And I bet if I saw it in a store, it would stand out like a motherfucker. But it's very unusual seeing that in your library.
You know what? Comic-Con wasn't exactly, a cool thing to go to. I almost wonder if it was like easier, like obviously it was easier, like if they probably could just walk in and like commission someone at a Comic-Con to
I suppose so.
I mean, I think it was I think it was like kind of popular, but it was nowhere near what it is today. So
yeah. I wouldn't dare go to a Comic-Con. It sounds like a nightmare.
Fuck no.
Actually, most events I think I'd be pretty appalled by at these days and at this age.
Unless you're loaded with money, I don't know what to do with myself at conventions. Like I've gone to a few different kind and I'm just like standing around and it's like, well, I don't like, especially tattoo ones, like, well, I'm not getting a fucking tattoo, so
I think Yeah, I don't think I like anything enough to go to a convention for it. Do they make conventions on obscure bands that no one cares about? I'll go to that convention. Do they have the members of Creedle at a booth?
Yeah.
But moving on to the next one. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Hell yes. This came out in 1994. This is Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars.
Got some more trademark Creedle samples and goofy sounds and recordings. But this one comes in a lot faster than the debut.
So fucking cool.
So cool. It feels great immediately. His voice reminds me of Alex Mackay from Faith.
Okay, yeah.
On this song, anyway.
It's so funny. They could just be a band that like makes this kind of music, but they aren't.
Yeah. Because this is cool. This is just post-hardcore. This just fucking rips. But they do so much. And no one appreciated them, damn it.
I wonder what their live shows are like. I hope they were
yeah.
rad.
Yeah. Oh, this rules. So this is an example of the crazy dynamics.
Yeah, that's like some college alternative rock flair in it. Yeah.
So
wouldn't it be funny if that was like the song you got hit with the copyright thing?
Jesus Christ, that would be funny. I couldn't even get mad at that point. So I love all these albums, but I'm giving this one best personal favorite.
Okay, yeah.
This one, oh man, this one hit me good. This one got me real good. I love every song. I was forgiving of all the interludes except the very, 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 very last one. The outro, more or less. That's the only one I'm not forgiving of because it's just playing the main riff of a full song. But everything else, everything. So it basically, it kind of doubles everything that the debut did, except it doubles it in variety and also paradoxically does less extreme things. So what I mean by that is the songs feel more diverse. They feel like they're expanding on their songwriting, I don't know, style or just the amount of crazy shit they're doing. The songs feels way more, but each song feels more like one band. Whereas the debut had like a bunch of different genres and a bunch of crazy stuff mixed together. This is, out of all the albums, this one feels like this is a band called Creedle, and this is what the kind of music that they make. This feels like a uniquely them kind of album. That's kind of why it landed with me the most.
When you started off, I wasn't quite sure what you were getting at, but yes, I agree with that. This is like heavy in the, Slint sounding stuff, more so than the last album, but it's also bringing more jazz elements, more King Crimson stuff, and more Matthews stuff for sure.
Yeah, they're cranking up the jazz. Whereas there was like smatterings of jazz on the debut, this one has full on jazz sections. They don't shy. Like My Buddy, which is fantastic song. There is so much jazz noodlings and schizo jazzy sounding stuff. I mean, it's so great.
Yeah, some of those early riffs almost have like a Halloween vibe to them, and then another section of like where like the vocals are kind of unique. They're almost like wailing. I don't feel like they do that again in any other song. And then it it goes like full free jazz when they start playing the movie dialogue clips.
Yeah, and the moment they go full experimental, I don't think not in this album. There's not like a whole song dedicated to it. It's like it's usually like a big chunk of it, and then it goes into something else.
Yeah.
This is where the songs start to get really hard to follow. I mean, they were already kind of hard to follow. They get pretty hard to follow here.
There were times where I thought they ended, and I was always like double checking my iTunes and
Yep. Same. Yeah. You think it's over, and it's just nope. That's just the 3-minute outro is just a separate song that sounds like a completely different band in a way. We got Egg Dog, which is odd as shit.
Yeah, that's it's like a Slint song, but they're not scared to like pepper some like wacky guitar tones and sounds in there.
If Ween and Slint fucked, and Egg Dog is the weird abomination that came out. It's weird, and there's like a million voices on there. It's strange, but it is fun stuff. Then we got fucking clown jazz on Lewis.
Yeah, that's like, I was like, okay, we're going like full blown King Crimson.
Yeah.
It's very jazzy, very math rock. This a feat if you're a fan of that kind of stuff.
And it's great. It's fun. It's fun as hell.
Great. Yeah.
I've never thought of clown jazz fusion before, but yeah. So we got, you have to like Sicilian Vespers. You have to like that song.
Yes. Yeah, if I'm going to like compare that to like Egg Dog, Sicilian Vespers is the stronger song in my opinion.
Killer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the proggy moments there are amazing. Even the chilling Slinty's clean section in the final chunk.
Yeah, some good screams on there too.
So we were kind of brushing over all these interludes, but they are very fun and strange. Like, track 2 is an interlude, which is kind of odd. The Dugards, and it's
this
so strange.
Yeah, it's like this dark, deep voice spoken word thing.
Yeah, deep pitch shifted voices with this dark riff behind it, where it's like you don't know whether to be unsettled or humored by it. Like that's kind of what all these interludes do. Like, is this funny or creepy?
I think that's like also their name, like Creedle. Is it funny or is it creepy?
Don't know.
Yeah, that's just a good kind of way to pitch the band a little bit.
Yeah, because you know there's a sense of humor, but some of the stuff feels like this feels fucked up. This feels a little weird. And then so was it Acacia? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's a nuts interlude. It's a fucking nuts interlude.
It's very goofy.
Yes. But things start to get a little bit more normal. I think Kundalini O is like one of the most normal songs in the album.
Well, it kind
to
of,
a degree. Yeah, it has kooky moments for sure, but I'm thinking of that main riff, that main chunk.
And like the vocals are backwards and then it keeps going. I'm like, oh, this is kind of like a krautrock thing. It gets heavy. The vocals start becoming normal. I found like the ugly vocals, like there's these particularly like very ugly vocals on there, like kind of funny, and I really like the like dramatic horns and pianos on that one.
Yeah, Kundalini O, that one ended up sticking with me a lot. There's something. Yeah, krautrock is probably the best way to describe it. It's not. It doesn't sound exactly. I mean, it's still way more zany than krautrock
for sure.
It has that drivingness to it, that driving nature to it. Very cool riffs too, really well written. All these songs are super well written too. Like we're talking about how crazy the arrangements and all the performances are, but they're like good riffs. These are good songs.
For sure. You can't be a slouch and play in this band.
Yeah, no kidding. We got the Magic Flute, which brings back more kooky and crazy stuff as if there wasn't enough already.
Yeah, it's like crazy, then it's like triumphant into the jazz stuff. You got like the Crimson stuff, they're screaming on it. It's this like funny, weird telephone, vocal thing between a child and an adult, and this goes on for a large part of the song.
Yeah, it goes on a while.
Yeah. And then like towards the end, you get these like squealing guitars and this like speedy jazz bass line. It's very unique, very, very interesting song, start to finish.
It's very dense and it's pretty crazy and it goes all over the place, which makes Mama Luke, the track after, feel even better, dude. And that's where I'm like, oh, fucking Secret Chiefs 3 before Secret Chiefs 3, where like Eastern Surf. I was like, fuck yes, dude.
Yeah, Mama Luke is so fucking fun. Although when it started off for first few seconds, because it's like a click track, and you know they kind of have funny song. I was like, what if this song's just like a click track?
Oh, that'd be pretty funny. Wouldn't be as cool.
Yeah. But this is better. Yeah. This surf song. There's a Western vibe to it. There's some Eastern vibes to it. It's very neat.
It's very It's one of the more novel songs here. Where I was saying like everything here kind of feels like one band. We got a lot more novel songs on the debut. That's probably one of the most novel songs here. That along with Jesus, which is, if it's got some ragtime piano, you know I'm on board, and it sure does.
I noted that. Although I think it's I think they're probably going for the Jesus pronounce.
Yeah, that's right.
The lyrics.
I didn't even take into account. Didn't read the lyrics or didn't listen to the lyrics.
I know you didn't. It's all good. That's an Alex job. Yeah, you got the old timey piano. It does get heavy though. This really hard hitting drums too. And then it kind of turns into an indie song. And then they hit me with so many riffs. Is the closing parts of that song just Ultra Bird? It's in my head. It sounded so similar, but I'm like, I'm like in the sauce with all these riffs. I cannot.
I don't remember. I know what you're saying because there's a lot of moments that return to other moments. The outro is one where it's like, wait, where have I heard this? Oh yeah, on this album. Because there's so many fucking riffs. If you have to hear this thing a lot of times in order to really absorb it. But yeah, Ultra Bird is like is another one of the weird acoustic songs, and but it still feels just like them. It's a little bit more fleshed out than them. It's kind of its own song, but where do we got? Oh, and so the album is long. Yes, the album is very long. It starts to wear on me quite a bit, even though I like every song. Auto the Time Maker is one where it's like, I love this song. I wish I heard it sooner in the album. Yeah, at this point, I'm like, it's kind of similar to, you know, like Sicilian Vespers and Egg Dog, and you know, we're 70 minutes in or whatever. So it's, you know, it's a good song, but there is some fatigue there. Definitely some fatigue, but it is very cool. And then the closer, technically not the closer, but really the closer is Oubliette, which is fitting of the title. I had to look up what an oubliette is. Apparently it's the doorway of a cellar or a dungeon, like a dungeon, you know, where it has like the ceiling is the door. That's the oubliette. The opening is when the opening is on the ceiling, and that's the only way to get out. Which is a very creepy imagery if you choose to look at it that way. And this song is creepy enough to make me think of it in a bad way. Sure. I could see that. Especially creepy is just having a woman screaming in the background for most of the song. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it is cool. It's still very cool. Now, something that's not music, but I think is funny, amazing. Is there's all these like blank tracks. Yeah, how many are there? There's like from track 18 to 32. Yeah, 18 to 32. That's a good 9 there. I mean, that's not 9. I don't know. I can't count at all. It's 12 or something. What was it? 14? I fucking suck at math.
I'm just gonna read this like it's a sentence because it kind of is.
It reads as a sentence.
Yeah. So it's the stuff things. It's too fucking hard to read the CD booklet. It's not accurate anyways. Why should I care? Nobody owns a CD anyways. Just me. It's not a great CD anyhow. 27, blah, blah, blah. All the musicians who played on this album are probably dead or have needles stuck in their eye holes. And then the closer is Kundalini. Yeah. And I was really tickled.
Yeah.
By that for some reason.
When I saw that each of those tracks was 0 seconds long. I mean, literally 0 seconds long.
Yeah. I was just like kind of tickled that it formed this like, almost a sentence of someone just, and then they kind of doomed themselves saying no one owns this CD anyways.
I know. it must have not looked too good even at this point when they were making this album.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I do think it's their best. I mean, it's really, I can't even say that because this is another band of taste where I love all their albums. I just happen to like this one for the reasons I gave. But yeah, it's just so chunky and satisfying and completely unexpected, but it also has a distinct personality that sounds like no other band, aside from little moments here that kind of can remind me of other bands, but more or less it is this is Creedle. I think this is a great place to start. But honestly, I don't think there's a bad place to start. So
yeah, probably just like depends on their tastes. Also, yeah, I'm interested in because I notice on Discogs, this says silent on those.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's just like something for the people who own the CD. They know this, or like, whoever who requested this episode, let us know about
So this is requested by Steve. Not only that, so I should have thinking about the top. I completely slipped my mind. He knew, these albums are available on YouTube. He knew that it was going to be a pain in the ass for us and that YouTube isn't ideal for us to listen to. So he sent us all 3 of these albums. I think he ripped them himself from the CDs. So the versions we have are directly from like physical copies. So probably. Because that's pretty cool.
I'm not going to do it, but if someone wants to probably talk amongst the fans, but I think it'd be cool if the Discogs page was updated.
Yeah, because it really is a neat little thing. I've never seen a band do that before. Make a whole sentence out of silence. I've never seen that.
It has nothing to do with the music.
Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing.
I just found it charming as all.
Yeah, definitely. But so there's not, again, it's not easy to find information on this band, but this was engineered by Bill Jackson, who also worked with Tom Waits, cool, Toto, Stevie Nicks, Danny Elfman, and Everclear. So clearly the man just accepts a paycheck and he doesn't care who he works with, because Creedle doesn't exactly match up to fucking Stevie Nicks.
I mean, fucking Danny Elfman
that's wild.
Insane to me. Like, fun story, I was once waiting for a Zankou chicken while sitting next to the singer of Everclear, as he also waited for Zankou chicken. There
is no one in the world that you know immediately in life than the singer of Everclear.
Oh yeah.
Why is he so much the most recognizable human on the planet? I mean, just fucking look at it. Yeah, it's the guy from Everclear.
Yeah, he's got the glasses and the hair. Still, like right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you Dr. Dre? No? Okay, you're the singer from Everclear then. Like, it's one of the two.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But I mean, fucking seek it out. Seek out all these albums. But time to move on. Sure. You ready?
I am ready.
Hell yes. This is 1996's When the Wind Blows.
That's also a very like tip of the hat to King Crimson, I think.
Is it?
Well, I don't know. I feel like King Crimson kind of had like lots of songs about the wind.
He does talk to the wind. You're right.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting this.
No, I know this is fucking dad rock.
Yeah, I know it's a zany band where you shouldn't expect anything, but it's still like caught me off guard.
It's like jazzy southern rock.
For sure.
With reverse guitars.
This is Jimi Hendrix.
Fuck. So this is easily the most accessible riff they've ever written. I don't like this riff. I think the song is very cool, but these chord changes, I'm like, it's just a regular 4-chord rock song. I mean,
I think because it's so different for them, I was like,
that is true.
I was like, have they taken a like hard turn? But I was like, no, they're too strange.
And they are indeed. I would still say they took a hard turn, but they're still strange. I don't want to give people the idea that this is the whole song, because it fucking isn't. But it just takes a while for things to happen.
A little bit of like maggot brain vibes.
I haven't heard
Funkadelic song.
Okay.
Very, very cool, iconic guitar track.
I forgot how long this section is. It's like 2.5 minutes. So, oops.
Also, there's some light funk here. I just had a chaotic thought. What if like Creedle was like D'Angelo's backing band?
That would be fucking bananas. And I would like to see that.
I could hear this being on like Voodoo.
Yeah.
Not this part, but...
And this is where it gets wacky. This sounds... Wait. This sounds like Zappa. Straight up Zappa.
Yeah.
I mean, so Zappa. Oh, and this rules. Oh.
This is the best kind of King Crimson worship, in my opinion.
Those drums, man. Love that. All right, we listened to a lot of this song. It's a long song, but I just wanted to give a taste of where it goes a little bit.
And this is my best personal favorite because I think this band's ultimate form, and apparently I need to check out like John Zorn and Secret Chiefs, is Yiddish prog rock, which I love. I love,
Dude.
apparently. Like, I will be re-listening to this album in the near future because the Yiddish prog rock shit, like, I don't know why it blew my mind. Like,
Fucking nuts, man.
like
Dude.
that's the second track.
Rabbi Steinman's Happy Hour Frito Boats.
I didn't even look at the track. I was like, this is Jewish as all hell. And,
It's so Jewish. Yeah.
and then I looked at and then I thought, okay, this band's so crazy. That's just like a one-off, but they keep bringing the song, like that sound back throughout the album.
They sure do. This album is this one caught me way off guard because yeah, from the first album to the second album, you hear like, okay, they're kind of forming into their own sound, their own band. And then this one comes and it sounds like fucking none of it. Like this is a complete outlier. I mean, it's a batshit album.
Yeah, I thought I am like, okay, they're a weird band mixing, some. I think I know what they're bringing to the table, but I didn't. I fucking didn't, and it's really a shame they broke up. Not that like the fourth album would have sounded like this, but I really like what they're laying down on this album.
And now, who do they got here? Because now they have a saxophone player. I already forgot who was playing. That's the one. The name I can't pronounce. Fucking Kochemi Gaston. The saxophone on this album, yeah, they like John Zorn, all right. The saxophone plays such a fucking prominent role, and it's transformative. It's like they feel like a whole new band because of the saxophone. It's so interesting and it's so well done. And so let's go a little bit back to Rabbi Steinman's Happy Hour Frito Boats, which is, man, Jewish surf at times, which is, yeah, Secret Chiefs 3 in a nutshell, because Secret Chiefs, I can't even say their name fast. Secret Chiefs 3 did a couple albums, not with John Zorn, but they did all the names are all stupid and confusing, but John Zorn wrote a shit ton of music based on Jewish folklore or whatever, and then gave it to bands to make albums out of it. He gave 2 of them to Secret Chiefs 3. One of them was kind of lost, but it was recently finally put out and it's all on streaming. But the first one, I think it's Zaphon, Book of Angels, volume something. That's like the one Secret Chiefs 3 album, because they didn't write the songs. It was John Zorn who wrote the songs, that it's super duper Jewish sounding. And it has this fucking character to it. It's such an interesting songwriting style. And I just hear it. So now I associate that heavily with John Zorn. When I hear stuff like this, I associate it with Secret Chiefs 3. It's a whole world that I don't really know of that much. And though I'm talking a lot, but there's one more reference that's also connected. It's a band that has gone through 3 different name changes. The first, they were originally called Orange Tulip Conspiracy. And then when I've discovered them, I saw them live a couple of times. They were called Atomic Ape. And then they changed their name again to Red Fiction. The main guy, the main guitar player, has been a long-time member of Secret Chiefs 3. I'm all this rambling to say that this stuff reminded me so much of Atomic Ape. They put out one album called Atomic Ape. Car chase jazz, Jewish sounding stuff, super zany, but really whimsical, almost whimsical and high energy. I got so much fucking Atomic Ape vibes from this album, and it's fun as hell.
I'm gonna add that Atomic Ape album, this slingshotted to the top of my like next album I listen to is gonna be that Atomic Ape album.
Dude, I saw them for the first time like 10 years ago, opening for a Karima, and I was like, these guys are fucking amazing. And I then I saw them again open for Secret Chiefs 3, and I think his name is Jason. Oh man, I don't want to forget his name. I think it's Jason Schimmel or something. Yeah, Jason Schimmel. That guy, super duper nice. Very talented band. They were instrumental band. And I told you this story a long time ago. It was the only, like, aside from pleasant, like, hey, what's up? The only like kind of real interaction I ever had with Patrick Shiroshi, which was a bad interaction. It was because he was up for an audition for saxophone for this thing. I don't remember what it was. And he said the guy who was going up against was the guy from Atomic Ape. And I was like, shit. Yeah. I was like, that guy's great. I saw them. And he's like, he got really frustrated because he was already nervous. And I'm like, oh, that guy's amazing.
Yeah. But, well, Patrick seems to be doing all right for himself.
He's doing fine. He's doing fine.
Yeah.
But back to this album. Instead of rambling about a bunch of bands no one's ever heard of, please go on with more of your highlights.
Okay, so we got Stardust Hotel and Casino, this amazing dark jazzy prog stuff. And then that, like, those horns in particular, Ornette Coleman kind of has a funk album called Body Meta that's like that's my go-to Ornette Coleman, sorry, tongue tied.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, they have to be fans of that album, 'cause, at least in my head, like, that horn is like so specific. Fucking Gers, like circle with a G, Gersel.
Gersel. I was having trouble with that too.
Yeah, that's like dabbling in the funk, horn guitars things, and I was disappointed. It's just a little interlude.
It's just an interlude, but it is fun.
It is fun. And then, yeah, like Fisher Price is amazing. Just amazing playing, bringing in the Yiddish music, the flamenco stuff, some Western stuff. Just a cool part kind of in the middle of the album, too.
Very cool. Fisher Price is another wacky song, but man, it's so crazy how much of a different band they sound like with songs like that.
I mean, yeah, it does sound like a completely different band. The first few songs are instrumentals too. I wasn't even sure if there was going to be singing on this initially.
Oh right, yeah. There's a lot. So there was, like, there were some vocals on title track, but so many of these songs are instrumental. Like so many of them. You were talking about Stardust Hotel and Casino. That's when I was started to get like the heavy duty Bungle vibes. It sounds like if early Bungle was just instead of ska, jazz. Which honestly, I much prefer. I fucking would rather hear a jazzy Bungle over a ska Bungle.
It's kind of crazy. This band's on the West Coast. Like, well, they do talk about a lot of San Diego locations in their tape message things, but outside of that, like the sound is like, especially this album, you'd be like, oh, they're from the East Coast, right? Nope.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's so interesting. What else we got here? So, Pretty Ugly, Acts 2 and 1. 1 is the closer, but 2 is like, it gives you a little taste of it. It's 30 seconds of just insane prog.
Yeah, I was like, as advertised, and then comes back around, closes, more fleshed out. Not only is it ugly, you get prog elements. At one point you get these nice acoustic guitar parts with jazz, and then it gets pretty dark to close you out.
Yeah, the Act 1 is so well rounded. It just tackles every little bit that like the whole album does a bunch of things, and it just like crams all the things that the album does in a way into one song that feels really fleshed out. Out of like all their closers, it's like the only true closer song out of all the albums, because a lot of them end with like this weird little thing or an outro or some kind of thing. This is like the closer of all their albums.
Yes, yeah. It's not a cute little joke song, although I am in favor of those.
Yeah. What else we got here? Because again, we got a million songs. The only song I don't like on this whole album is Wisdom Tooth.
Yeah, that's like, it's like weird. It's fuzzy. It's almost poppy. I could see that. There was something about God, I didn't Boss of Me, You're Not the I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover or a song by its title, but just the way this album was going, when I saw that, I was like, they're gonna go hard on this one. I just like have a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they bring like the like crazy bossa nova vibes you would want from the band at this point.
Oh yeah, it uses the bossa nova rhythm, but they do it in a way that just, it's zany and whack and fun, and oh man, it's so cool. So many of these songs are so damn fun. What else we got? Yeah, so a couple of songs that really remind me of Atomic 8. So I keep calling them Atomic 8 because that's just how I discovered them. They're called Red Fiction now, but I don't know if they put out anything as Red Fiction.
I mean, they're to defend your point, I looked them up real quick. The Atomic 8, their website's still up. So
is it? Because I remember because I signed up for their mailing list the first time I saw them, and I got no email for like 5 to 7 years, and then I got one saying, we're changing our name to Red Fiction. Like, all right, that's all right. But
well, it's still up, so I'm sure they're Red Fiction now. But if people look up Atomic Ape, there's still plenty.
And then the album is and the album is still under Atomic Ape Core. I'm sure. I think it's streaming. It better be streaming. But the songs that really reminded me of them are Los Calapalos, Los Capalapalos.
Yeah.
Which is a mouthful. And then the other one is, where is it? La Chanson de l'Espion Detective.
Mm-hmm.
The two songs not in English. Those are the ones that remind me of him.
Los Capalos is this like really like fun, loungy, surprise. All their songs are weird, but also like surprisingly straightforward for them. And then the La Chanson, like, man, I don't know, something about the way it's placed after their creepy Rainbow Connection song, it just like hits really hard when that song comes on.
Oh yeah. It's really driving. Both of them have like an old timey car chase kind of feel to them, which I find that delightful. You briefly mentioned the the track before it. The Illuminati Rainbow is unveiled. It's another interlude, but it is another one that's like, is this goofy or creepy? Because
it's it's creepy. Yeah.
So there it is. For you, it's creepy because it is pretty. It is pretty weird. It's pretty unsettling as it goes on.
Also, I can't believe I wasted my Rainbow Connection. I forget what episode I did that. I think it was a very lackluster episode because you're like, that's the clip for the episode was me talking about experiencing Rainbow Connection in the movie theater. But
wait, remind me.
I was just saying is it like 40 or 50? It's probably they did. What is time? 40 or 50. I don't know how old the Muppet movie is. However old it is, anniversary screening, and just like sitting in a theater with people and seeing that like opening scene of Jim Henson / Kermit doing like Rainbow Connection it's just that is a cinema.
Oh right, yeah, I'm remembering. I don't remember which episode it was, but I do remember that. Yeah.
It's just and especially after reading Jim Henson's biography, which this. So for me, it's creepy because I like feel so fondly of the man that I'm like, yeah, how dare? Well, not how dare you, but because it's so wholesome to me.
Oh, okay. Don't taint the waters, the beautiful Jim Henson crystal waters.
I mean, he kind of did that himself when he cheated on his wife, but you know.
Oh, son of a bitch. He's dead to me.
It literally is.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's kind of dead to humanity, but
we lost the legend. Anyways.
Yeah. The most Slint that we get out of everything in the whole discography is 1,000,000% the 10-minute long Middletown, almost downtown.
Absolutely. That is return to a minimal Slint song, but they do make sure to, get the jazz stuff in there, and you do get some like heavy guitars eventually.
Heavy guitars. I like it a lot. I mean, the fact that it's 10 minutes and I'm like, yep, I'm fine with this. It retains my attention. I'm into it. And then I'm okay. So I don't love Filmco, Workco. I do like it though.
Again, like once in a while they'll hit you with these like a song like that where you're like, oh, this could have been like on like college rock radio, or like you could like play it next to like Flaming Lips or the more like normal Flaming Lips songs. And
yeah, it's a little bit more normal. Probably one of the most normal songs on the album, which I can't say the same for Street Talkin' Val Azzoli Blues.
It starts off psychedelic, but it does get funky. And again, it made me think of like the Body Meta Ornette Coleman album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm interested now. Curious about that. Ornette Coleman is a very daunting artist for someone who's not super into jazz.
It is daunting, and he has like there's so many I guess you could say that about most prolific jazz players. Like they have so many eras. And then like The Shape of Jazz to Come is just like considered a landmark jazz album, but that like weird free jazz funk era is where it's at for me.
Interesting. What else we got here? Last one we could kind of talk about, I suppose, is Golden Gate, which is one of the few quirky acoustic songs on the whole album, because they haven't given it up. They're still doing it.
Yeah, it's like the closest they get to doing a proper ballad. The acoustic guitars are particularly soft when they come in on this one, and it's still creepy, but it's the closest they've gotten to being pretty.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, man, this is total left turn of an album. Everything on here is it's cleaner but more extreme. Everything is it's more fine tuned. It's tighter. The production's shinier. Everything is it feels like it should be like, oh yeah, they're deep into the 90s now. They're going to try something a little bit more accessible. try to get a little bit more appeal, and they do not. They go so hard in the other direction.
They got more Jewish.
They got so Jewish. They got unbelievably Jewish. But man, it's fun as hell.
Apparently, that's a whole genre I need to listen to.
I didn't even know that was a name for Yiddish prog. I mean, did you come up with that? Is that real?
I just came up with that.
Okay, that's fun. That's funny. That's fun as hell. I know John Zorn has like 10 to 20,000 albums or something. I've only heard the first Naked City album, and then but he has a million gajillion albums.
I'm gonna start with Atomic Ape. Maybe, like, realistically, if I do work my way into Secret Chiefs, and then I'll do. I mean, they're John Zorn fans, like, so. I guess the jump into that isn't so surprising. I just didn't really realize that was like a genre rock bands or avant-garde artists like Steve Zorn were tapping into, and I didn't know it would sound so appealing to my ears either.
It's really fun. It's super fun. Yeah. Aside from those two examples, only other one that I ever came across was the hardcore punk band Adrenaline OD and their song Surfin' Jew, which was just Hava Nagila, but played like a surf song. And it was just like, it's super fun. It's super cool.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
I dare someone to listen to that or song and not have it get stuck in your head.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Adrenaline OD, check them out. They're a fun band. But yeah, Alex's best and personal favorite, and honestly, a hell of an album. Yeah, if I didn't give it to the previous one, I'd give it to this one for sure. But so they split for good in 1998, and this piece says members of the band continued on to record and perform with the Grey Boy All Stars, the Dowson 4, Morricone Youth, Pretendo, Fluff, Robert Walters' 20th Congress, and Sharon Jones and the Dap Tones. Who the fuck are any of them?
First of all, if they perform with, sorry, I'm like spacing. If they perform with Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, that means Creedle's 1 degree away from Charles Bradley. Because
it was the Dap Tones. Who the hell are the Dap Kings?
They're all associated with with Dap Tone records.
I'm completely unfamiliar with all this.
So, yeah, we did do Charles Bradley a while ago, but Daptone is the record label that like put him and Sharon Jones on the map. And they kind of have like rotating members with Menahan Street Band and the Budos Band. And I'm sure they've all like played in Charles Bradley and Sharon Jones. She's like the lady version of Charles Bradley.
Nice.
Or he's the man version of her. Take your pick.
Right. Yeah. She's also been a terrible victim of love.
I mean, I believe they're both dead. So, yeah.
Damn. This piece goes on to say, saxophonist Kochemia. Listen, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. The name is very complicated. Kochemia Gastelum, who grew up in Spring Valley, has delved deepest into the jazz world. 1990 graduate of Monte Vista High School, relocated to New York City, where he's been involved in too many recording sessions and live performances to recount here. Noted. As of late 2007, there are fresh YouTube clips, of Gaston playing a November gig in Milan alongside jazz legends Archie Shepp and Oliver Lake in the small ensemble Is What? Anchored by drummer Hamid Drake. What is all of this? Do people who know jazz know what any of this means?
Probably. They're not listening to this podcast, though.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. And this goes on to really explain all the things that he worked with. He collaborated with Quincy Jones. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, see. Yeah. He played on Back to Black by Amy Winehouse.
Oh, shit.
That's pretty wild. That's huge.
Yeah. Hope. I don't know if he gets residuals from that, but if he does, he's probably doing all right.
He's did genuinely good musically. He did very well. You listen to him on the album, he sounds incredible. But he was successful. He was actually successful. Crazy. says guitarist Devin E. Levins, better known as Devin Goldberg, went to college locally and played in Creedle, Rust, and the Holy Love Snakes. He moved to New York in 1998 and founded the band Morricone Youth there the following year. He also plays with Pretendo alongside Steve Calhoun from Skeleton Key. Skeleton Key, another super underrated band. I remember I showed them to you like 10 years ago.
Yes.
And you told me they sounded like a cross between Baroness and Weezer. And I thought, I was like, yeah, they do.
Also, yeah, I was like, why does that band sound familiar? So thank you.
Yeah.
There it is.
They also were one of the bands on The Crybaby from the Melvins.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, alongside Steve Calhoun and another former San Diegan, John Castro from the Rugburns. Robert Walter went on to the Robert Walter Congress and the Grey Boy All-Stars. Tim Blankenship plays with locals Pillowhead and Gary Man, Jesus Christ. There are so many. Dion Thurman played for a band called Schmaltz. I mean, who the fuck are any of these bands? Are they all good? Maybe they're all good. I never heard of Creedle. What if these are all amazing bands?
I'm just going to say, if Schmaltz is carrying on the legacy of this album, I might have to listen to that.
Maybe we should all just listen to Schmaltz, dude.
I see
yeah.
I see the drummer played with this band that was on Relapse called 16. A sludge band from San Diego. Okay, I'm getting way off track. Anyways,
these guys are all over the place.
Yeah.
And it says a Creedle reunion took place in late 2007, which is interesting. And it says another partial reunion was staged in January 2009 as part of the Casbah's 20th anniversary celebration with guest saxophonist Gabriel Sundy replacing Gastelum. I'm not going to try the first name again because he was touring with Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings.
Shit.
Yep. And Rob Crow covering keyboards for Robert Walter. So that was the last update. This might be 2010. And yeah, it's even on the wiki, it says they're still, wait, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong wiki. Yeah, even on the wiki, it says they're still active, but no updates. And man, what an interesting band. What an interesting band was it? Shrouded in mystery and just unjust obscurity.
Yeah. It does make me more interested in like the San Diego music scene, which I guess has, I should have known it was a little weird because of the Locust, but I just kind of thought like, oh, there's, like a handful of bands but I don't know. They probably got like little hitting gems like this. You could say that for any city, but in California, it's just like the bands you just hear LA, Bay Area. That's where the bands really talk about like San Diego bands too much.
San Diego's, yeah, it's had some good stuff come out of there. Yeah, you wouldn't, on a very unassuming, yeah. And the same with like a Sacramento. You don't hear like you hear Deftones. That's the only one I can think of at the top of my head. Like who the hell comes from Sacramento? That's another kind of. It's almost Bay Area. It's not Bay Area, but It's like, huh?
You know who comes from Bakersfield?
Oh, I know damn well who comes from Bakersfield, baby. Yeah.
Not even gonna say it. You
don't need to say it. Don't need to say it because everyone watching knows. They already know.
There's only one band. There's only one band from Bakersfield.
But that about does it. Let's do a little recap.
Worst, least favorite, Half Man, Half Pie. This is not a bad album, but it is the most it's like a sampler. You just get a little taste of different things.
Board of Creedle, yeah.
And then best personal favorite, When the Wind Blows, bringing the prog, the Yiddish music, the dark free jazz, some funk. This very cohesive package to me.
Yeah. And for me, same Half Man, Half Pie, worst least favorite. Love the album, but out of the three, my least favorite. And Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, that's my best and personal favorite. Just it's like the one moment where you could look at this band and be like, oh, this is that band that sounds like no one else. I mean, you could make that argument for each of the albums, but this one feels very, I don't know, it just felt the most whole to me. But they're all great. They're all fun. And I'm delighted to have found this band now. So thanks so much to Steve for supporting us for this long. And also for requesting this is the type of band that like, these are the exciting episodes where it's like, fuck, how could we have never even remotely heard of something so? This isn't just like a good band, but a little rough around the edges, or like the production wasn't great and they struggled a lot. So, certain things were compromised. These are like fantastically produced, amazingly performed and written albums that just no one has ever heard of.
And most importantly, it allows us to do an episode that's under 2 hours.
Under 2 hours. Hell yeah, baby. So let's wrap this the fuck up. Thank you so much for listening and watching and hanging out. Leave a comment. Tell us why we're idiots and we're morons and why this band isn't good and shouldn't have been discovered. You could also just like the video and subscribe and be cool. You can follow me on all social media at Panda Monkey, Alex on Bluesky at
Octatron3030,
and our history guy Tom Osman at Tom Osman Sounds and TomOsmanSounds.com for his music, and whatever comes next, his podcast where he interviews lots and lots of indie musicians. Links to all that in the description. Check out my EP and link to that in the description as well. And oh yeah, of course, that little thing, Patreon. The same thing. Steve was so kind enough to. We're not accepting any more requests because Alex is leaving the show. Probably should have mentioned that up top. If you don't know why he's leaving the show and you're still watching this for some reason, none of that makes any sense. But check out the King Crimson Part 1 episode. Then it'll explain in detail there. But no more requests. But there's still plenty of fun stuff there. You can see our schedules in advance. You get to vote on polls, although we're not going to be having a poll for a while. We've had 3 massive poll winners. We just finished King Crimson. That was the first. We're going to be moving on to the next big one that people have been very excited about. But you can be a part of the Discord community, talk shit, talk shop, talk music. You can suggest brand new albums from this year for us to cover on EAE singles episodes. And if you're tier 2, then you can suggest any album from anywhere, any point in time, and we'll do a bonus episode on it. So go there for that. Hell yes. And that about does it.
I do want to give a shout out to Monica from Speakeasy
because hell yeah,
this making cool shit happen.
Monica's been our one of our most valued friends and connections from the podcast. She's always hooking us up with albums. She hooked Alex up with a fucking Jesus Lizard show. I mean, that's super sick. I'm very jealous that I was not within 500 miles of the city in order to take that up.
So just wanted to give a shout out because she also makes this podcast possible.
Oh, she was the one who hooked it up with or she was one of the people that hooked it up with the Michael Girard interview. So she's done so much. Huge.
Yeah.
So thank you, Monica, for everything. Love of God. Awesome. But until next time, see ya.